Whether you are new to credit or you're just looking for some simple ways to go ahead and start building your credit, this video is for you. Now, these little tips and tricks aren't going to necessarily change your debt load, although it can report that and make it seem that way. It's not necessarily going to. In actuality, these things might cost you just a little bit. However, it is going to help you boost your score without adding too much money to the mix and getting you all caught up and worried about that. So here are some simple ways that don't cost too much, and some of them are even free to do to help you build your credit score. The first one is using Boom.pay. Now, Boom.pay is going to report your rental status. Now, I believe you don't even need your landlord in this process or anything like that. You just go through their website and fill out what you need to fill out. I do believe that they charge a little bit. I did do this, but it was a few years back when I was renting an apartment in South Carolina, and they were going ahead and just adding those rental payments to my credit score to make it seem like it was part of an installment loan, so that way I can go ahead and start building up those different types of credit on my profile. That is one way that is going to significantly help boost your score depending on where you're at and starting in your credit journey. Now, the next one that you can use, now this one is a little bit more I guess time consuming and more meticulous, I guess, because you have to be kind of, just on your P's and Q's with this one. However, this one is called switching cards that you use before the statement date. So let's say, so normally, if you don't know, you have a payment due date and then you have a statement date. The statement date is what is reported to all the credit agencies, what actually goes on your credit. Now, normally, from what I've seen, the statement date is after the payment due date, and you can still make additional payments after your payment. All right, so one thing that you can do is to switch the cards that you use before the statement date, meaning if you have $300 on one card, $300 on the other card. Let's just use that as an example. One of the statement dates is due around like the first of the month, and the other one statement date is due towards the middle of the month. Well, you can take, let's say, you're getting paid, you only have $300, but you have two different cards that have $300 on it. So you owe $600, but you only have $300. Well, you'll go ahead at the beginning of the month, go ahead and pay that $300 to that first card. Boom, that card's paid off, right? Now, in the next 2 weeks, you're going to get that $300 back again, right? Because you're getting paid and everything. So now what you can go ahead and do is you can start using that card after that statement date, that first card. So let's say the statement date was on like the 2nd or the 3rd. You paid that $300 to that. Now that is zero. You start using that card, and you start racking up on that card, and you build that one back up to the $300. Now all the money that you were going to use to pay that initial one off, right? You use that $300 now to pay off the second one before that due date, before that statement date is due. So now you're just kind of like flipping around your debt. You're not actually really getting anywhere, but you're just flipping it around. So now that first card looks like it was zero at its statement date. It looks like it's paid off, but it really has still a balance of 300. Now you took that 300 and you moved it over to the second card before its statement date, and now both of those are reporting in the same month as zero. I hope that made sense. I hope you're able to follow along. Now you can do this with just having your own $300. Like, let's say you get paid in that next 2 weeks and you just move it over and you do that type of thing, or you can take like a cash advance. Now that might cost you a little bit in interest and stuff depending on the card. Navy Federal does have a card where there is no cash advance fees, so all I guess you would have to pay is the ATM fee and then just deposit it in your other account and do it like that. As some type of trick that you can do, although it's not really going to get you anywhere as far as your actual debt load, but it will report as zero. The next one is using Experian Boost. Now, this is not sponsored or anything like that. I did try it. It gives them access to a lot of stuff like your bank account and things like that. Just helps you make everyday payments report to your credit profile, and that's pretty much it. An authorized user can help you without making any type of payments. Now, this relies on somebody else. Everything that they do on that credit account that they added you onto is going to reflect on yours. So all of that history, all that payment history, anything, the balance, all that stuff is going to report to your credit. But if their credit is good, if that credit account is good rather, then those are some good things that will post to your credit profile and boost your score without you having to make any payments or do anything, lift a finger, nothing, right? So being an authorized user can also help, because I'm going to get into this next one, which is ask for credit line increases or new cards. Those things aren't going to affect anything as far as like credit line increases. Depending on who you go through, will be a soft inquiry, right? So it's not going to have a hard pull on your credit. Now, new cards can have a new inquiry put on your credit, but the amount is normally very small. It's normally only like 3 to 9 points, and the reason why I say that's gonna actually help you rather than hurt your score, even though you get that temporary ding in the beginning, is because you are able to now have a bigger overall usage. So now your utilization is going to go down. So let's say you went from 5,000 overall usage to now 10,000. Now if you're using 1,000 out of that 5,000, now it's like you're using 20%, right? But if you're only using 1,000 out of 10,000 now, because you either became an authorized user, asked for a credit line increase, or you got new cards, now you're only using 10%. Now you can see how big of a difference that is, and how that's going to actually boost your score way more than that one little ding on a new card, or if they do happen to pull your hard inquiry for a credit line increase, which a lot of places don't now, but some of them do. So just be sure to check into that. These are some simple ways that you won't really have to put too much money into, and some of them are even free, that you can go ahead and help boost your credit score pretty significantly and pretty easily. So I hope you guys appreciated this video. Catch you in the next one, and as always, I appreciate you all.